All right, question 4 here, basically about my recommendations as an exercise scientist, also a personal trainer, on what I would give someone for heat acclimatization. So for the person I'm picking today, I'm basically going to be picking my dad as an example. My dad's 64. He just turned 64 in February 22nd. So basically a little bit on the elder side. He is not recreationally fit, but he still is active. He goes out and hikes. Both my parents are full-time RVers now, and they are currently living in Arizona. So big thing going around, of course, the thought process and talking to people is that in the summer, it gets hot in Arizona, especially Phoenix area. So basically my dad wants to feel better in the heat. Overall just feeling better with being outdoors. So basically my recommendations are basically gonna be, I'm avoiding anything that's gonna be aggressive in heat. I just want some easy modalities, easy walking modalities is what I'm going to be choosing basically for this modality. I'm prioritizing safety and hydration for this. Just keeping them hydrated, keeping them healthy, no cardiovascular events, nothing like that, God forbid. So just trying to keep them some walking modalities in not peak day. That's one big thing here. Not recommending walking in the midday sun. Still trying to get around that 86 to 95 degree temperature. So we're still getting those adaptations, but that's pretty easy to get even in the early afternoon, early or morning, 10 a.m., something like that, in Phoenix in the summer. So remember, we have to think about basically how we get heat adaptations. So it's repetitive heat exposure, basically repetitive elevated skin and core body temperature. You need some mild sweating. You also need to have meaningful exposure, meaning that like 4 to 5 days per week of getting out and being exposed for 60 to 90 minutes a day. And you need about 10 to 14 days for meaningful exposure to actually have adaptations. So basically my prescription would be basically walking in anywhere around high 80s, lower 90s temperature for about 30 to 45 minutes a day, 5 to 6 days a week, starting week 1. We want to do these walks at about a heart rate reserve, about like 40 to 50-ish percent of heart rate reserve. Also you can say like RP of 5-ish. You just want not high intensity, especially in heat, but we just want to have some meaningful exposure to the heat. And then also we're going to then increase that to 45 to 60 minutes a day at week 2. At that point, we should be in that range of getting that meaningful exposure. So we should start seeing adaptations and just then basically maintaining. Trying to get, you can do an optional week 3 if you want to, do 60 minutes a day. An hour of walking a day outside at that temperature, 5 to 6 days a week. But just overall maintaining health, staying healthy, but basically expose yourself to temperature. So you're going to decrease skin temperature, decrease core temperature. You're going to increase sweat rate with better basically water rather than electrolytes. And just all of the adaptations we talked about before when it comes to basically hormonal responses and physical adaptations.